What is up, guys? Blue Spooky here. So I've gathered all your guys' questions over Twitter and the YouTube comments the last few days, and I have my girlfriend here with me, and we're going to be answering some of these questions that you guys have for us. I know we're very interesting people and you want to know a lot about us, so let's get started with answering the questions here and see how we go. So the first question is from Damage Inc. Chaos, and he asks, what state are you from? I'm actually from California. I grew up here my whole life, basically, in pretty much the same city. Moved around a little bit in California, but basically stayed in the Central Valley area, so that's pretty much been my life so far. What about you?
I'm from Washington State, but I live in California. I live in, actually, Los Angeles. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Very succinct.
Yeah.
All right. How did you come up with the name Blue Spooky? So, there's not really any, specific reason that I came up with the name Blue Spooky. I just kind of, I thought it would be a kind of funny pun, instead of Boo Spooky, Blue Spooky, it's so funny and clever, right? But then I tried to put it into the YouTube name creator, and apparently Blue Spooky was already taken without any spaces, and with spaces. So I had to put an underscore, and that's how Blue Spooky became a thing. It's not really too deep. I guess you could find some metaphorical thing about how the color blue is real scary or something like that, but you'd probably be lying to yourself. Alright, the next one. Are you going to do a face reveal? A lot of people have been asking me this question, and you know what? I'm going to offer a little bit of a compromise. So let's say when we get to 200,000 subscribers, I'll do a hand reveal. I'll take a picture of my hand, and I'll show it on the screen for you guys. So you can see my tiny, dainty penis hands with my really, really long nails, and just be like, is this Blue Spooky, or is this a female taking a picture here?
A lot of your fans, I've noticed, sometimes ask you if you're a female. when you're doing the voice, they think that you're some woman. Oh yeah,
I think that's because I put the disclaimer in there saying that all the true scary stories and everything are from different perspectives, but they're always like, how can you be simultaneously a 10-year-old girl and a 30-year-old man? So I will probably...
With a lot of practice, guys.
Yeah, I'll probably start narrating those beginning screens at some point pretty soon. Alright, on to the next question. Did you join any clubs in high school or college? And if so, what were they? I actually did. I've been in a lot of clubs and stuff throughout my schooling career. Not so much in college because I go to a community college, so it's kind of hard to get into that kind of stuff, get into the group and everything. At least for me. But in high school, I was part of a lot of video game groups. I actually used to participate in some Smash Bros. Tournaments and stuff like that for actual prizes and stuff. And then I also joined the chess club. And I remember I was very notorious in chess club because basically I would stall a lot whenever I had to match against somebody. I remember one time we did a tournament, and I basically just stalled 3 weeks in a row when I was about to lose. And then the final week, the teacher got fed up, and he pulled out one of the speed chess dials, and we started playing. And I actually managed to beat the guy. That was the only time I ever came close to beating him. And I think it was because he was so frustrated he just wanted the torture to end. And then I went on to face the next guy the next day, and they made me use a speed dial again, and I lost immediately. So that's my club experience in high school. Can you tell a personal story? Alright, so I'm going to tell you a really funny and also scary story that happened to me. So, when I was in high school, I used to work after schools for the mandatory community service requirement to graduate. I used to do technical crew behind the scenes for theater productions at my high school. And there was this guy named Chris who was on the theater crew, and he was kind of crazy. He would do stuff he burned my friend Mark once with a welding torch because something he said upset him, and he would burn ants behind dumpsters and stuff like that. And I remember one time I'm really scared of heights. And they had me working the catwalk as like a translator for this one show where I had to do the projector up in an alcove that was about 100 feet in the air. And there was a big ladder that was so tall that they didn't sand the top of it because they just figured like nobody was going to go up there that often, so why sand the top? Just leave it really rough. And so I was climbing up, and my instructor, Mr. Fox, was like, be careful up there. There's some mannequins and they can scare you. So I was walking up, and Chris pops out of the mannequin room, and he scares me on the ladder, and I let go of it with both hands and started to fall, and I actually caught myself and ripped my hand because I grabbed onto one of the really not so well sanded down rungs and cut my hand open. So that's my personal story for the day. That's my scary story. It's probably not too scary because, I don't know, we were in high school and everything, but still. What is your favorite horror movie? I'm going to have to say for me, my favorite horror movie is probably, I don't know, I'll probably say The Exorcist is probably my favorite, just because it's like the only movie that's scary that ever really actually like scared me a little bit. Most of the other ones are just full of like jump scares and things like that, or they're just so cheesy that they're awesome, but they're like impossible to take seriously as horror. What about you, miss?
I would say Manhunter. I like the whole beginning kind of that Hannibal Lecter type, those stories like that. I like a really crazy, creepy mystery of someone chasing someone and always being in danger. So that's a good movie.
Alright. What is your favorite thing to do in your spare time? And what was your favorite sport growing up? My favorite thing to do in my spare time is, well, obviously it used to be making YouTube videos. Now I do that for a job. But now my favorite thing to do in my spare time is I like to write short horror stories and like science fiction and things like that. And I also like to play video games because I'm a nerd. My favorite sport growing up was probably, it had to be basketball. I used to always play basketball, and people would always tell me that, like, oh, you should join the basketball team and stuff like that. But I was never tall enough for it, and I never had the finesse of, like, all the fancy dribbling where you go in between the legs and stuff like that. I was just never good enough for that kind of thing. What about you?
I like playing video games on my during my spare time and playing, of course, with you.
Yeah.
Like video games when we can. Also, I like to act and sing and do a lot of shows and podcasts with my friends. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And my favorite sport growing up would be, I did a lot. I did dance. I did barrel racing. I used to ride horses and show horses as well. And also I was a state swimmer in high school, so that was really fun.
Do you have any hidden talents? Depends on what you consider hidden, and also depends on what you consider to be a talent. I would say something people probably wouldn't know about me that's a talent is that I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. Also that I used to play the trumpet a little bit, and that my thumbs are double jointed so I can move them around like a joystick, and it's really weird and always gets a kick at parties. What about you?
That sounds interesting. Nothing is interesting with me as there are with you, because you are very talented. No, I just recently discovered how to sing two notes at once with overtone singing, which was pretty cool because I got into that whole Mongolian throat singing stuff, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And I discovered that our voices are capable of doing such a thing. So I don't think it's a hidden talent though, because technically everybody can do it. So yeah.
We all need to try at some point. We should all make one of those montage videos together where all the people sing like little squares and stuff, and they all do it together, and it's like an ensemble. That'd be so cool. Oh my god, we have to do that now. We totally have to do it.
We should make this whole new channel just for that.
Oh yeah, we could totally do that.
A whole new channel just for that.
Be like a Smooth Groove, except for with Mongolian throat singing.
And video games too. We have to have a channel that has video games if people are interested in playing video games or watching live streams.
Yeah, we need to do that too.
It'd be fun.
Have you had any strange encounters while together or while on a date? No, I don't think so.
No, we did. I think we did.
Oh, which one was that?
If I can remember, I think I was flying in. Remember when I was flying in? Yeah. I was flying in to the airport, and you were picking me up, and the car that was like 2 cars ahead of you was trying to get me in the car. Like he was like calling me in, like as if he thought that I was the passenger or something. I don't know if he got it mixed up or not, but he kept insisting that was the case. And you were like 2 cars behind him, and I kept giving you this really weird look, like creeped out, because this guy was like, hey, get in my car. Like, this is your ride. And I was like, no, my boyfriend is here. And I think you were just kind of staring off into space. I don't think you were paying attention.
I'm sure I was at the time. It's probably just
no, you don't remember it. Of course you would have remembered it if you.
Well, maybe it was just too weird, and I blocked it out. I was just like, let's never think about this again.
I think I was just being scared. I am a girl, so
Oh.
I get scared easily.
Do you plan on doing any college stuff? And also, can you sing with that awesome voice, or is it just for these awesome videos? Well, I am in community college. I believe I've already said that earlier in the video, but yes, I'm doing some college stuff. I'm actually going to school to be a forensic biology major and perhaps work on a CSI team in a lab someday and solve a bunch of crimes like a cool guy. But yes, I do enjoy singing. I sing a lot in my spare time, especially in the shower when nobody can hear it. But I'll tell you what. If we ever get to 200,000 subscribers, I will do a singing reveal for you. And then I will immediately regret it because half of my audience will kill themselves from hearing my terrible voice. So I'll be back down to 100,000 subscribers, and then I can get my silver play button again. Have you ever thought about posting these readings in other places, like a podcasting app? Yeah, I actually have. Like something like Horror Amino or something like that. Or one of those types of websites. I've thought about doing it, but I just haven't really had the time to format it or really go about adding it to that yet because I'm always making new videos, so I guess I could try it and see how it works out. Maybe if you guys like that sort of idea, you can let me know in the comments if you want to see some scary pastas. If you want to see some readings in other places, or maybe have like a Mediafire download or something so you guys can download them and listen to them on the go. Have you ever thought to read creepypastas? Well, I think that was a bit of a Freudian slip there because I was thinking about this question. Yes, I have thought about reading creepypastas before. I actually feel like probably sometime soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll start reading fictional stories again. I really liked reading the no sleep ones, but it was just hard to get permission for those kinds of things, but I think now that I'm a little bit bigger, it should be easier if I give them samples of my work and stuff, and they trust that I'll do the reading justice. So I'll start trying to read creepypastas again here sometime soon. Let me know if you guys have support for that in the comments, so that I know if you guys want to see that sort of fictional type of thing. I love your voice, but is that how you always talk? Like, is your voice naturally that smooth and soothing? Sometimes it's that smooth and soothing, but I feel like that'd be a little awkward in conversations where I just suddenly spontaneously burst into becoming Sean Connery, and then nobody understands what I'm saying anymore because I keep making these weird pauses like this, and everybody always thinks that I'm done talking, but I'm not. I think maybe you can answer that question a little bit better. Is my voice always that naturally soothed and smoothing?
Yeah, I mean, I always fall asleep whenever you're talking to me, so...
Oh.
It's not that I'm, ignoring you, it's just that your voice is naturally that smooth. Yes, it is very smooth, you guys. Trust me. It's the reason why I'm with him.
Oh. It's for my sexy voice, guys. Remember that. If you ever want to get a girlfriend, just have a sexier voice.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, if you're a girl with insomnia and stuff and you find a guy like that, it's perfect.
Exactly. Have you ever tried Vegemite? I have not, but I heard it tastes terrible.
I want to say yes, like a long time ago, and it was probably horrible because it just sounds like one of those things that my family would have probably bought once.
It was so terrible that your mind blacked it out from your memory, and just like thinking about it now, it's like, no, stop, please.
Isn't that like an Australian?
Yes, it is actually.
Yeah.
It's like they use it like instead of mayonnaise or something like that, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was
I'm curious now. Maybe we should like, I don't know, do a video of.
Oh yeah, do a vlog of like.
Yeah, like maybe you can give me some nasty foods and stuff, and I'll try it on camera.
Oh, that'd be fun. let us know if you want to do that, guys. If you want to see that thing, see me eating some. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. Maybe some pickle ice cream. That sounds like fun.
Durian ice cream.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. What are your guys' favorite Pokemon?
Lapras.
Oh, you were quick on the draw on that one.
Yep, Lapras.
Why is Lapras your favorite Pokemon?
Because it's Lapras and you can write on it. Write on Lapras.
That is perfect. That is the perfect answer.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Lapras is just cool.
Lapras is cool. I think my favorite Pokemon will have to be Caesar, just because he looks really like... He just looks like super tight and also menacing, but also like he's a cool guy that will like buy you beer if you're like slightly too young, but you're like, hey dude, can you buy me some beer at the liquor store? He'd be like, yeah, I got you, dog. And then he'd take it in his pincer hands and he'd cut up the money and he'd be like, oops, I screwed it up.
But what generation is he from?
He's from second generation.
Oh,
he's from
really?
Gold and Silver.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I only know the first generation. That's all. I don't know.
She's a Gen 1er, guys.
Yeah. I stuck with them from the very beginning when they first came out. So.
What is your favorite thing to do together?
I like just driving around with you and talking about random stuff and saying funny things and laughing. You know, it's just conversations that we have, and I like that. I like moments in the car when you can just talk about any and everything. And
I feel like that's the best thing too, when we're just hanging out and just having random conversations together about like the most strange stuff, and there's like never any judgment or anything. It's just like, hey, here's this weird thing that I saw today that's totally random, and we just start talking about it, and we can talk about it for like hours and hours and stuff.
Yeah, or he'll ask me a really weird question, like today we went to the zoo, and he'll say like, if you had a choice to choose like 3 animals out of the zoo, what would you have chosen? And I was like, why would you ask me that? Like, how can you own something like this to begin with? And I was like, probably an orangutan, the red panda, and I don't know, what was the other one I said? A lion or a tiger or something?
Yeah, I think so.
And yours was...
I think mine was the legless snake.
A legless snake? I mean, like, aren't they all supposed to be legless?
The legless
Legolas snake, the Lord of the Rings.
The Legolas lizard. I have to have someone draw me fan art of that so I can insert that into the video right now.
A Legolas snake.
Yeah, just like a snake flying through the air with like a bow and arrow, and then like can't knock it because it doesn't have any arms.
You really like all of those amphibians and reptiles and things like that.
Oh yeah, those are my favorite. Especially like frogs and turtles and stuff.
I like turtles.
I like turtles. What is your favorite thing about one another?
I like that you can remember stuff about me that I can't remember. I can't even remember my own birthday, so you're always there to remind me. And you always have that cute little sign at the end, and you're just like, oh.
No, I don't.
Yes, it's so cute. Anyway.
My favorite thing about her would probably be her laugh, because it's the most adorable thing ever, and it always makes me smile, and I know that's super cheesy, but I am a block of cheese, so I do not mind being cheesy. What are your pet peeves? I think my most annoying thing would have to be when you're talking with someone and they say something and then they regret it and they pretend like there's no context to the conversation. You know what I'm talking about, when they're just like, you should have taken what I said at face value when you were talking about something and they said it at an inappropriate time or something like that. Also, a big pet peeve of mine is when people pretend that they know something and then you ask them something about it, and you realize that they don't really know at all about it. What about you?
That's like the general population. With like anything. No, I don't know if I have any. I mean, I don't really pay attention to things. Like if a person just seems like they're off on something, I just don't even give it any like the time of day to even care. Like I don't even think about what my pet peeves are, because chances are if that person's doing something wrong, then I'm probably just walking away to begin with. You know, I just don't want anything to do with them there. Yeah.
True, that makes sense. That makes sense. What are your ethnicities? You want to go first?
I'm just a European mutt. I'm white, and Italian. I'm just Italian and German. I know my grandma's family is from Germany, and my dad was from Italy.
On my end of things, I'm half white, half Asian. The Asian part is actually Filipino, and the white part is it's a mixture of things, but it's mostly Italian on my dad's side. So if you guys are curious what I look like, just imagine a white Asian mix, if that's possible. Are you a Stephen King fan? What is your favorite book by him? Yeah, I actually do like Stephen King books quite a lot. I used to read them a lot. I don't so much anymore because I don't have like a super huge amount of time to read or anything like that. And also, it costs money sometimes to buy books. So, but my favorite book by him, I don't really know if I can choose a favorite because so many of his books are really good and so many of his books are also really not good. But I think my favorite would have to be, something stereotypical like Green Mile or something like that. I also really like Dreamcatcher, I think it's called, where they have like the aliens from space right next to Derry, and they like they invade through people's behinds. Mm-hmm. I just think it's really funny and so cheesy, and it's just glorious. Can we see a doggy reveal? And what is the doggy boy's name? Yes, I'm going to include a picture of Finn somewhere in this video here. That's his name, by the way, is Finn. We named him after a character from the new Star Wars trilogy because we were trying to decide on a good name for him, and one day we were just like, what's a good name for him? And I was like, just decide! And then we came up with Finn. So that's how that came to be. Would you be interested in being a voice actor or an on-screen actor? When I was little, I wanted to kind of be like a voice actor and do stuff like that, which I'm kind of doing right now, sort of, but not in like a super professional sense or anything. But yeah, that would be cool to be like a voice actor. I know it's really hard to like get into the field and you need to practice with your voice and stuff, so you have a lot of range, but I feel like, with a little bit of practice, maybe I could try doing something like that one day. So far down the line, probably, but that would be a really interesting thing. As for on-screen acting, I really don't feel like I have the charisma and the ability to act out things on screen the same that I do in stories and stuff like that. But it would always be an interesting thing to try, give anything a try at least once. What is your favorite story from this series? I haven't read my favorite story yet. It's called Dr. Ramsey, which I know that's like everybody's favorite story because it's like the best Let's Not Meet story of all time and everything. But the truth is, usually after I read these stories, I've read so many of them that I don't really get scared of them anymore. I just kind of instinctively know which ones are kind of scary. So honestly, after I read a bunch of them, I kind of like, read and forget, as mean as that sounds. But my favorite story would have to be, I think it's one of the camping ones where they find a tent and it's got like a dead deer carcass in it and the head's like on a pike or something like that. That's a really scary one.
Oh, I had a situation that was similar to that in real life.
Oh, really?
When I found a dead carcass of a dog stuffed in an abandoned house.
Oh, you want to tell?
I mean, I used to be into, going around abandoned houses and stuff through high school. Stupid enough. and we found a trail of blood, and we were starting to videotape it, and I kept telling my friends, I said, if we find something wrong, what do we do? Do we like let the police know that we found a dead body if it's a dead body, or if we ask them, like, are they going to look at us thinking, do you have something to do with this dead body? Like, since you found it, and what are you doing on the property to begin with? But we did decide on following it because we just figured, if it is something like that people would need some closure if there was anything that was going on. It turns out it was a carcass of a dead German shepherd that was stuffed in there. We ended up hearing some crazy noise in that place and ran out really fast. So, yeah.
That sounds really terrifying.
It was terrifying.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine finding something like that.
Yeah.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? That's a hard one to answer, because I've always wanted to travel places and stuff like that. Some people just have the wanderlust or whatever. But I think if I could go anywhere, I would probably just go explore over Europe, because I'm just really interested to see all the culture and stuff like that. Or maybe go to somewhere in Asia, like Japan or something, just because the culture is interesting. I'd have to learn the language first, but that should be simple enough. The last words ever spoken. The last couple of questions we're going to answer here before we end things, because the video is getting kind of long. What is your favorite show to watch together?
That'd be the Game of Thrones.
I would agree. Game of Thrones. At first I wasn't too big of a fan. I was very skeptical about the quality of Game of Thrones. But eventually she convinced me. I relented, and I ended up watching like the entire first 7 seasons and catching up to her in like a week.
And I didn't believe you for the longest time that you watched all of those, binge-watched them in that little amount of time.
I really did. I just left it, like, even when I was editing videos and stuff, I would just leave an episode of Game of Thrones playing in the background.
We literally argued with each other about this.
Oh yeah, we've argued over, like, how would he hit that dragon and stuff like that. Or, like, there's not enough wizards in this show. We need more wizards.
And Khaleesi just gets away with too much.
She is
it's
definitely...
It's too easy on her, and I don't like it. It's tiring.
She's the merriest of Sues. Do you have any funny inside jokes? I don't think we have any, like, super inside jokes, but there is that Heart 100 thing you did that one time that we have.
I don't think I remember that.
Oh yeah, it was the night that you went to dinner with Robert Downey Jr. and them. And you chose to ignore them to instead hang out with me.
Wait, I chose to ignore them and what?
No, I don't think it was like ignoring them. You were just kind of like...
Robert Downey Jr. and Mel Gibson.
Yeah, you were just kind of like, you're not talking to me. But it was a fun night.
Well, how would you feel when you're having dinner with 2 stars?
I know, I'd probably feel very nervous. I'd be stuttering. Even worse than I am right now. I'd be like, sir, topics.
Have you been in any big theatrical productions?
Personally, I have not, other than perhaps playing a side character in a high school production of Horton Hears a Who or something similar. But, have you?
I have. I used to be a professional opera singer with the Seattle Opera, and then also I started doing professional shows with, you guys have probably heard of him, Andy Dick, the comedian, by doing some podcasts with him and live shows, and also some Netflix shows with Bob Odenkirk, who is the star of Better Call Saul, or if you guys know him through Breaking Bad, he played the lawyer. He's a good friend, and I did just a quick little scene in one of, it's probably on Netflix still if you guys want to check it out. It's called With Bob and David, and it's on Netflix, and it's just a music video. It's like a country music song that we did, and I'm dancing and singing beside the fat man.
She makes a cameo in the video.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea to do it. I was just working behind the scenes that day.
So. They just decided, let's throw it in there. Alright, but thank you guys very much for all of your questions. We still have a few more to answer in the next Q&A, which will probably be next month, because I'm probably going to start doing these again, if that's something you guys want. If you guys have any more questions that you'd like to ask, please be sure to leave them in the comments below. And please be sure to let us know how you enjoyed the video. If you really liked it, we can do some more Q&As together sometime in the future. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching.